Most coaches think getting high ticket clients means posting more content, more reels, more TikToks, more carousels, and hoping that something finally goes viral. But after working with over 600 coaches and helping generate over $7 million in client revenue, I can tell you, posting more content is never the answer. In fact, I recently taught this exact client acquisition system to a private room of 6- and 7-figure coaches at my mastermind in Dubai, where they each paid $5,000 to be there. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the exact system that I showed them, a simple framework that you can steal using ads and content together that creates a predictable stream of inbound leads and high ticket clients without posting every day or burning yourself out. Because the moment that you understand how to turn $1 into 2, you'll never struggle to get clients again. In today's lesson, talk to you guys about the leverage stack, which is the ability to turn $1 into 2 on repeat, okay? For those of you guys that don't know, it's one of the most fucking invaluable skills that you can have as a business owner because you build ultimate amounts of leverage. So I'm going to show you guys a 3-part growth architecture that replaces chaos, burnout, and guesswork with predictable inbound clients, sales, without posting more, working more, or relying on viral content. All right. So most founders know how to make money. Very, very few know how to multiply it. And multiplying it is arguably one of the most important skills that you're going to learn after 10 to 20K a month. All right. So leverage stack, which is exactly what I want to break down with you guys, solves that by helping you guys take every single fucking dollar that you guys get, every view, every lead, and double it very predictably. And making $1 million, believe it or not, is a game of doubles. So a few years ago, when I say a few years ago, I'm probably talking like 7-8 years ago, I watched a very fucking interesting video from Patrick Bet-David. Do you guys know who Patrick Bet-David is? Yeah? Fucking G. So, and he broke down a concept where he got a whiteboard out and he pretty much broke down that getting from $1,000 to $1 million is literally a game of doubles. If you double $1,000 10 times, you get over $1 million, right? So the reason I'm breaking that down is because with ads, it's the same thing. If you can put $1 in, get $2 out, there's no more valuable skill that you can learn in exchange for that, all right? So it's not luck, not followers, just consistent multiplication. If you can turn $1 into 2, you guys are never gonna starve again. You guys are never gonna figure out where to get clients from ever again, okay? And that's the only game that you need to master as a founder if you want predictable, repeatable clients without guesswork. Once you can do that, you don't have a business anymore, you have a money machine, all right? So, and that's exactly what I'm gonna teach you guys, how to double your dollars through one of the most invaluable skills that you can get your hands on, which is a traffic OS, okay? That prints attention, trust, and clients. So you guys could have the best offer, systems, and team, but if you can't consistently generate attention at scale, you'll cap out and fail. It rhymes, so it's fucking true, all right? And this is where the final layer of leverage comes in, which is paid ads and content distribution. So far we've run through, everything from profile funnel, how to really optimize and set up your profiles, story sequences, and I know Charlie ran through some ads as well. But once you can pour paid ads on top of that fuel, right, it's gonna absolutely blow up everything that you do. So the first thing is organic content, which obviously builds up your audience and warms them up. And then paid ads, of course, accelerates the whole process and retargets people that are interested in your stuff, right? So a lot of you guys might have some really high performing content, but you guys might have never even run a retargeting ad to the people that viewed that. You're leaving a lot of money on the table, right? And of course, data, which is one of the most important overlooked things, right? Data in this space is like oil, right? Oil is very valuable. That's why everywhere you go in Dubai, they've got fucking supercars. They've got a lot of oil, right? But in our space, data is the equivalent of that, all right? So the formula to sales velocity is attention multiplied by trust multiplied by leverage, all right? If you guys want, you can take a picture of that. Everyone's asleep today. All right. So look, if ads create attention and organic builds trust, how do you actually engineer this into a system that scales predictably? Well, most of you guys are actually sitting on a gold mine right now without realizing it. Most of you already have enough data to make 6 figures in retargeting, you just don't know it yet, all right? The most valuable asset in your business isn't your offer, it's your data, all right? You already have everything you need to scale, your leads, your clients, your followers, your viewers, and your buyers, but most people never fucking realize it. You can literally buy back the attention of every single person that's ever interacted with you, and that's what's known as digital gold, right? That means even if you have just 7,000 IG followers like myself, 2,000 leads, and 500 book calls, you're sitting on a system that can print over $1 million a year on demand, all right? So here's what that looks like. So does everyone here use Calendly? Yeah? All right, cool. So Have you guys ever exported your Calendly list and created a lookalike audience out of it? Okay, cool. Have you guys had some very solid people that have booked in on your calendar that have turned into clients? You can replicate that data, right? You can literally go into Ads Manager, create a lookalike audience, set up a pixel. It's complicated stuff. Like, it's very fucking easy to set up, but I'm just gonna give you guys the overall big picture, all right? Point of the matter is, you can create a lookalike audience of the people that have booked in on your calendar, all right? And that's an audience that you can now target and run ads specifically to. Second one is clients that have purchased from you, right? Do you guys ever get on the phone and you're like, fuck, this person bought so easily. I wish I could just get more clients like this. You guys can literally duplicate a list of those people. You guys can export that data into a sheet and start to retarget those people inside of Meta. It's fucking sick, right? Have you guys ever run a lead magnet? Anyone here run a lead magnet? All right, cool. All the data that you collect from people that have opted into your lead magnet, you can again create a lookalike audience of those people, right? Again, Instagram followers. If you guys have some solid Instagram followers, even though it's not a lot, you can create a lookalike audience of your existing Instagram followers. So in this mastermind, when you get everyone to follow you, you can find more people like this, all right? So, or even people that have interacted with your page over the past 180 days, right? Who here's ever gotten a sales call and then someone says to you, look, I've been following you for the last 3 months or the last 4 months and now I've bought from you? You have? All right, cool. Most of us in here have. And the truth of the matter is, like, if you set up the right retargeting ads, all you're doing is you're accelerating that process of them buying from you, because you're getting in front of them more sooner and more intentionally via ads, all right? And not just that, reel viewers, right? You can specifically target people that have watched a certain percentage of your reels, and you can then target them to perform different actions, whether you want them to follow you. So Meta's really fucking cool, right? One thing I highly, highly recommend every single person do after this mastermind is create these lists. And of course, I'm gonna give you a QR code as always, so you guys can swipe this. But you guys can literally take people that have looked at your content, watched your reels, but they haven't followed you, and run a campaign where you get them to specifically follow you. It's pretty fucking cool, right? Previous video watchers, and that's 7 audiences, all right? So you can target the people that have actually watched your stuff, and you can create lookalikes of them too. It's pretty cool, right? That's 14 warm, high converting audiences that you can run ads to right now without spending a cent on cold traffic, right? And the cool thing is, like, for example, whenever we buy stuff, right? Have you guys ever gone on like a online dropshipping store, clicked on it, tried to buy something, you left the store, now you got retargeted with their ads? That's exactly what they're doing, right? They have a list of all this data. They've got pixels set up and everything. Does everyone here know what a pixel is, or not really? Okay, pixel is a collection of data, right? And you can segment different pixels depending on different actions that people take. For example, if someone clicks on your funnels, you can set up a pixel to track funnel clicks. And that's data. So anyone that clicked and performed an action, you can now set up a pixel related to that specific action that they took. It's pretty fucking cool, right? And you can do this in a lot more depth, in a lot more detail. There's cool tools that you can use for this as well. So some of the more advanced tools that people use, does anyone here use Hyros? Fucking G. Hyros is sick, right? And you can get really, really advanced with this. So just to give you guys some context, some of the things that we do is we use a typeform. Does anyone here use a typeform? All right, sick. So typically in your typeform, you have 2 places that you can take someone. Number 1, where someone's qualified, right? And number 2, where someone's disqualified. Maybe they're from like Nigeria, third world countries. You guys don't want those people on your calendars. And what you can do with Hyros specifically, because Hyros has way better pixel data tracking than Facebook itself. Facebook is pretty shit. Even though all the cool stuff I told you about it, it's pretty shit in comparison, right? Is every time someone is qualified, Hyros can fire that data back to the Facebook pixel to find you more people like that. And every time someone's disqualified, you can essentially exclude those audiences. So that, again, you're filtering and filtering out. You know what I mean? High level shit, but it works incredibly well, right? So each one of these has buying intent, trust, and data that your competitors would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to collect, right? So when you build lookalikes, you're basically cloning your best buyers, which is very fucking cool, right? The algorithm literally goes out there and finds more people that think, act, and spend like them. So I want to give you guys some context on how advanced Meta is, right? So typically, like, I buy a lot of expensive shit. I know I shouldn't, but I do, okay? So if you go eat out at Nobu, for example, right? Our phones track our locations. You guys know that, right? So when they see us eating in places like Nobu or shopping in places like Louis Vuitton, these places all have like geotags associated to them. So what Facebook does is it classifies you as someone that's a high spender. So you can literally go into Facebook advertising, right? And they have all this data on us. They know who rich people are, they know exactly who broke people are, and so on and so forth, right? So it's fucking sick. So now that you know a few different people that you can market to, let's talk about how to convert them and how to actually engineer ads that are gonna fucking speak to them, right? So there's 3 components that turn ads into money machines. There's your message, which is context. Super fucking important, right? It's almost like you going out there and just randomly meeting a guy on the street, right? And just talking to him about your life story. It's not the right time. It's not the right context, right? But if you know the guy, you guys are friends, you guys are talking about your personal problems, it's context associated to it, right? And then there's your creative, which is your medium. That's how you communicate the message that you're trying to convey. And then of course there's a funnel, which is the mechanism that you use to convert that attention into a paid client. And I'm gonna run you through each one of these in a lot of depth, all right? So here's how to create a marketing message that grabs your audience by the throat, all right? Because you guys don't wanna create weak-ass marketing messages and create ads that suck. No one wants negative ROAS. It's fucking horrible, right? I've experienced it too many times. Sucks. So the most profitable ads aren't necessarily the most creative ads. I know Charlie Johnson, incredible looking motherfucker, right? He's on a vest, on a yacht. But the truth of the matter is you guys don't need to be as jacked as Charlie Johnson to make sick ads. They just need to be very contextual, right? And that's the difference between a profitable ad and painful ads that piss money, all right? So context equates to matching your message to their awareness and intent. I'm gonna give you guys a quick story in a second. An ad doesn't work because it's fancy. It works because it's saying the right thing to the right audience at the right level of awareness, right? And every profitable ad starts with contextual awareness. You're not writing ads, you're writing to that specific moment in that buyer's psychology. Very, very important, right? I'm gonna pause just so you guys can take that in. All right, so most people make one ad and they just blast it to everyone. This is the worst fucking practice of ad that you could possibly do. Do not fucking do that, all right? For me personally, I make multiple ads. Each one is designed for a different audience at a different stage, okay? So each ad matches a different awareness stage and not a different idea. It's very crucial for you guys to understand. And again, I'll break that down in a sec. So the reason 90% of ad accounts lose money is because they talk to everyone in the same way. Imagine you guys go out there and you guys are trying to explain why the Tesla, which is an absolute shit car, right? Why it's the best car in the world. Sorry, Ben. Don't worry, you live in Dubai. We'll convert you soon. Explaining why the Tesla is way better than a Lamborghini, which is clearly not, right? To someone that's never heard of a car, it's the wrong message to the wrong person at the wrong time. Even though what you're saying is never going to be true, but it is true in this context, it's not going to resonate with the person. You understand? So this is the exact strategy this company used called 8 Sleep to hook me into stealing $5,000 on buying a cooling mattress, okay? It's fucking sick, yeah? So before I break that story down, okay, there's 5 stages of awareness that you guys need to be aware of. First one is unaware, okay? The majority of your audience is gonna sit within this category. For example, if you sell, okay, fitness coaches is a bit too problem aware. Everyone fucking knows about it. But if you sell something complicated like an 8 Sleep mattress, most of the market doesn't know why they need to spend $5,000 on a mattress. You know what I mean? And the second stage is problem aware, where they now become aware of the problems that they might be experiencing, like a lack of deep sleep, how it affects your health, how it affects your aging, and so on and so forth. And then solution aware, the fact that there's cooling mattresses that exist that actually give you better sleep. You know what I mean? And then product aware, which is why this mattress is a better option compared to all the other cooling mattresses within the space. And then most aware, where they're like, they understand it's the best mattress, they understand it gets results for clients, they understand it improves your sleep, and they're ready to buy. And these are stages that you have to work people through when you're advertising, right? You can market to people that are most aware, you're just gonna have a much shorter percentage of people that are there, all right? It's called TAM, Total Addressable Market. So in simpler terms, it's cold, warm, and hot, all right? So every lookalike audience sits at a different level of awareness. People that have purchased stuff from you, they're the most aware, right? So for example, like when Charlie Johnson yesterday was breaking down Black Friday, you can literally target a list of your existing customers with a Black Friday offer. They're most aware, they know who you guys are, they've purchased from you guys before, if they saw an ad of you breaking down an irresistible offer, there's a higher likelihood that they're ready to just purchase, right? You don't need to necessarily walk them through a stage of different problems. You know what I mean? Then there's reel watchers, right? So people that watch your reels, for example, Ben, give me an example of a problem that you break down in your reels. Something that people shouldn't be doing.
Focusing too much on views.
Okay. What should they focus on instead?
Conversions and listening to people and asking them questions as to which video actually compelled you to actually book a call.
Cool. So at the end of the day, those people are problem aware, right? They understand that views don't mean shit. They need good conversion systems, right? So someone like that, because they're problem aware, you can now talk to them about the different things that they can do to start fixing that within your ad, right? So then you have cold audiences, which are completely unaware, right? And these guys need belief-breaking content, which I'll break down a few examples of in a sec. And this is why your messaging must match the level of awareness that people have, all right? So in my example with the 8 Sleep mattress, this is how these guys hooked me into buying this stuff, all right? I was pretty much just going about my fucking day, all right? And I have very poor sleep, as you can imagine, due to caffeine consumption, okay? And I live in Dubai, so we're blasting AC 24/7. And I start seeing these ads talking about REM sleep and why your REM sleep gets fucked. And again, I was at this stage of awareness. I was completely unaware. I didn't even know that cooling had any impact on my sleep. Then they start showing that there's cooling mattresses that they've invented, da-da-da-da. Second set of ads that I started seeing is problem awareness ads, right? Again, show me how lack of sleep can cause aging fast, bad muscle recovery, slow cognitive function, all these problems that I was kind of aware of, but now I'm hyper aware of because they're super in my face, right? Then they showed me a bunch of other mattresses for cooling. One of them, don't let your partner change their settings, right? And my wife and I, we sleep at different temperatures, okay? I like my shit super cold, she likes her shit warm, right? And they showed how obviously their product allows you to have dual temperature control, right? And then of course, product awareness. They showed me their product, how it worked, so on and so forth. And then most aware, they hit me with a money back guarantee if you don't like this thing and a 10% off. Made me buy. As you can see, all the different ads were done at a very different stage of awareness, right? But that's how they took me from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel and got 5 Gs out of me for a mattress. Fucking crazy, okay? So unaware, what you guys want to do, okay, is your goal is to create curiosity, all right? It's to agitate daily pain. So in my example, okay, it was REM sleep. Right? So confusion and intrigue is the emotions that you want to invoke, okay? And having this chart is going to be pretty good for you guys because whenever you guys are creating your ads, most of us use ChatGPT for scripting and shit. It helps you know the right emotions to agitate within the ad, okay? Then there's of course problem awareness, where you identify the specific pain and the consequence that the person's going to experience, right? Move out of the way, which is fear and urgency. All right, so for example, if you're sweating at night, you're losing 25% of deep sleep every single night. You're addressing a very specific pain point and you're creating fear and urgency. You know what I mean? Number 3 is solution aware. Introduce the category of the vehicle. This is where you create hope and excitement. This is where you've terrified the absolute living shit out of your prospects. Now they need a solution. You understand? So hope and excitement. Here's why this cooling technology is replacing traditional mattresses. I'm sure you guys have heard ads like that, maybe in different niches. Right? And there's product aware. This is when you're at a stage where you're buying something and typically you're comparing different products on Amazon, right? Buy a lot of shit on Amazon. Bought a humidifier the other day, okay? Ended up spending 200 fucking bucks on a humidifier. Again, I was in the product awareness stage where I'm comparing different humidifiers. So if an ad speaks to me at that very specific stage and says, here's why our humidifier is 5 times better than the average one, okay? It's gonna appeal to me. So that's where you prove superiority, right? Because your audience is thinking the same shit about your products. Even though they have a pain, even though you've agitated it, they still don't know that you're the best. You know what I mean? So you need to provide that to them with logic and trust. This is where typically you have your numbers and so on and so forth. And in the next conversion section, I'm going to be walking you guys through different buyer types and how to appeal to different buyer types, okay? So 8 Sleep's dual zone technology outperforms every cheaper alternative. That's how they got me. Because it's actually a cheaper one in the market. I don't remember the name. That's how you know they have shitty marketing. And then there's most aware, right? Where you close with incentive and risk removal, right? These are your bottom of funnel ads. And the cool thing is, okay, for those of you guys that have never run ads before, whenever somebody watches your first ad, okay, you can retarget people that have watched the first ad. And then you can retarget the people that watched the second ad with the third ad, with the fourth ad. So think of it like this. Imagine your sales call, right? You open the sales call, you qualify the person, you agitate their pain points, you show them the desired solution, you show them your product, you show them the calorie deficit beforehand, right? Here's them switching to keto. The reason why this works so well is right? Sales. So again, you tease your mechanism. Your goal in the ad is not to sell, right? It's to sell the fucking click, all right? It's to create curiosity and intrigue so they actually click. And what I see so many people doing wrong, and what I did wrong for a very fucking long time, is I used to ramble on in my ads about how great my offer is, start turning it into a full-on sales pitch. And it's easy to do when you've never run ads, but you've taken a shitload of sales calls, right? So you want to tease the mechanism at a glance. So now that they're open-minded, give them a new path, i.e. your mechanism. And I'll show you a few examples of that.
And Mike and Lucas, $67,000 in 4 months. All with the Instagram Client Accelerator, a plug-and-play system that builds your funnel, scripts your VSL, and hands you the exact DM framework that generates $10,000 clients like crazy. Inside, you get a funnel that...
Anyways, it's a banana. Pattern interrupt. You know what I mean? I saw Will do an ad where he was just sitting there with a fucking banana that he didn't even eat.
Dude, that ad fucking crushed.
Yeah. Cheat code. Add bananas into your fucking ads. It prints. This ad printed. This ad done ridiculous. I'm gonna show you guys the numbers.
Played it one more time.
Yeah, sure.
And Mike and Lucas, $67,000 in 4 months. All with the Instagram Client Accelerator, a plug-and-play system that builds your funnel, scripts your VSL, and hands you the exact DM framework that generates $10,000 clients like crazy. Inside, you get a funnel that...
Oh, thanks.
You've got to teach it in universities and colleges, I guess, that'll be way more valuable.
Yeah. And I was like, and even the way I framed the offer stack, because with this one, it was like a direct, straight to fucking checkout, because we were doing a low ticket ad, low ticket up, high ticket. I was like, inside you get a funnel that doesn't suck, right? Because there's people, like, you have to understand the narrative of your audience, right? The better that you understand your audience, the better that you create ads that speak to them. For example, I see Cameron running a really fucking good ad recently.
Is it the meditation one?
It's not the meditation one.
It's the other one, isn't it? I was telling him yesterday.
Yeah, it's like...
20 clients.
Yeah. So he understands his audience very fucking well. Because every time I see someone that says like, oh, we'll guarantee you 100 fucking appointments, the next 30 days guaranteed, or we'll give you a fucking car and a house, right? Every person in the info space knows that ad and hook is rinsed. I think Charlie Johnson created that and everyone just fucking copied it. And now, it's funny to make fun out of it because you resonate with your audience. You understand? So for me, I'm like, hey, inside you get a funnel that doesn't suck because I've shown them client results. They know I can get them results. So again,
right back out. And Mike and Lucas,
here's another example.
What you're missing is an Instagram profile funnel that takes every eyeball, view, and like and turns them into red hot book calls and buyers.
Yeah, simple. So an example of something that I have is the leverage stack. So this is in my new ads. Build them a profile funnel, client conversion accelerator, and scalable systems, okay? So you wanna name it branded term, which allows you to become the authority. Because here's the thing, whatever the fuck you're selling, someone else is selling something similar. So it needs to sound proprietary, right? It needs to sound like I'm the first person that invented some shit like this, right? And you'll notice that most people do that in their ads. Right? Like I bought an Alcantara phone case. I bought this thing for like 200 fucking bucks, right? And they upsold me on fucking AirPod Alcantara stuff. It's crazy. Anyways, point of the matter is, they're like, this is like some premium fucking Alcantara from Italy, right? You touch, and their hook was so fucking good on the ad. They open with a statistic, right? They're like, you touch your phone 1,534 times in a day. I was like, I didn't fucking know that. Open with like a fact or a statistic that people didn't know, and you hook them. You grab their attention, right? Again, define it in one line. So whenever for example, let's say you do social media marketing, yeah? We do your social media marketing, yeah, that's fucking gay. No one wants to hear that. You want to make it sound like a proprietary system that's broken down into 3 parts. And you want to demonstrate those 3 parts visually. Quantify specific measurable outcomes that they're going to experience. Keep it brief. Don't go too much in depth and detail. But the more tangible the numbers are, the more likely you are to get a click. Okay? And then of course, social proof. Proof behind the promise. Now we spam a shitload of social proof in our ads, and I'll show you guys a few examples. So now that you've sold them on the idea, like I said, they need evidence.
Or you can just do what these guys did. Badin, 30K in 30 days. Carson, 61K in 90 days. Shea, 7K in 7 weeks. And Mike and Lucas, $67,000 in 4 months. All of it.
Again, this is a bit of an old ad, but
To generate over $4 million in the info space, I'm giving away my $3,000 time content into client system away to you for completely free.
anyways, this ad fucking printed. Free course ads print, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a fucking cheat code. Does anyone here have a course that they sell? Yeah? Give it away for free.
I've got like a 20-hour one on YouTube.
Okay,
It's fucking slapped. Would you run ads to that?
100%. I'm gonna show you how I ran an ad. To a free course, a course that I kind of almost wrote off and I wanted to rebuild, but I kept collecting feedback from people that were going through it and they kept telling me, oh, it's sick, da da da. I was like, I'm gonna give this shit away for free. And it absolutely fucking prints, okay? Now, again, if you've never run ads before, I don't recommend building out an entire fucking course so you can run ads to it. There's faster ways to do stuff, but if you have one, it's a cheat code.
One ugly, weird, despicable Instagram funnel has allowed me to scale over 150 coaches to
$600,000, 100K,
$89,000, $17,000,
£30,000, $30,000.
$3,000, 15K.
Yeah. Social proof, get your clients to talk for you, right? Rather than you explain the results, if you can have a good editor that understands your vision, shout out Mark, okay? Rather than you like talking about your client results, get them to talk about their own results. Again, invaluable, right? So name, niche, result, time frame is a typical format that you want to use. Name isn't super relevant, okay? My client Carson, who's a social media marketing agency owner, did $57,000 in just 4 weeks. There you go, right? It's very simple, repeatable, digestible, trustworthy, right? And of course, for your proof stack, you have visual proof, screenshots, DMs, okay? Verbal proof, which is your client testimonials, statistical proof, which is numbers and time frame, okay? Stack 2 to 3 layers max per ad. Too much proof kills pacing. I'll give you an example. I ran an ad and I was pretty much like, my client da-da-da, my client da-da-da, client da-da-da, right? And I ended up breaking down like 6 client results and the ad did shit. We turned it off in like 7 days, right? Fucking tanked. Again, the pacing was off. So don't stack way too much proof because it sucks, right? And then of course, offer and CTA. Tell them exactly what to do and just do it twice. Sometimes 3 times, but typically twice is best practice, okay? So no one acts without clear direction. Your CTA should feel like a natural next step, okay?
Card. So click the damn link and get access now. Or just keep watching other people win with the exact playbook that you didn't steal.
Again, I know Charlie mentioned something really good yesterday where he was explaining that, tell them how quick the process is gonna be, okay? In the next 7 minutes, install blah, 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 blah in your system. Another really good thing to add on top of that is to create consequences for what's gonna happen if they don't take action, right? Just kind of remind them of the pain. You know what I mean? So,
It's like the fear of loss. Like
yeah.
What's going to happen if you don't make
fear of loss. Ads are psychological warfare. You know what I mean? That's all you're fucking doing. You're just weaponizing psychology to make money. So, some CTA best practices, typically, you can introduce a few different CTAs. Soft CTA around the 30% mark, because if you guys start running ads, you guys are gonna look at the retention chart on your ad, right? A lot of people might stop watching after the first 30%. So you wanna at least have a CTA 30 to 60% in, and then have a hard CTA towards the end, okay? So you can subtly mention it. So it's like, this is the exact system my client costs and use. Coaches, this is the exact system my client costs and use to da-da-da. By the way, if you want access to this, click the link below. However, if you want to find out a little bit more about why this works so well, here's 3 reasons why it works so well. Reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. Book in a call below, da-da-da. They book in, all right? And then visual as well. I know they have like the AI thing now, which just automatically creates a prompt for what the button says. So it says, sometimes says, take a closer look, or it says some other shit. You might have seen it when you look at ads, right? So again, just to summarize, okay? Your first 3 seconds is about attention and authority. And then it's the mechanism, named and visualized, super important. At least a few tangible wins. I know I put 1. Realistically, 3 tangible wins is very important, okay? And the CTA appears twice. Now, best practices for your ads, don't make them fucking super long. I know some people run ridiculously long ads. I've seen Sabri run an ad to like a fucking 7-minute VSL, but that's Sabri, right? If you guys are starting out with ads, the shorter the better, right? So there's a few different ad types that we pretty much are going to go through. Number one is pattern interrupt, curiosity, very top of funnel driven, okay? Proof ad, trust, middle of funnel. Value drop, authority, middle of funnel. Offer ad, desire, bottom of funnel. And then story ad, connection, middle of funnel / bottom of funnel, right? So I'll break down a few examples. This is an ad. It's a direct response ad that I ran very top of funnel, but the hook was a little bit broader, so it worked exceptionally well.
Still my Instagram Client Accelerator for only $27, where I'm giving you access to my $0 to $1 million Instagram client acquisition secret, my exact winning funnels that you can copy and paste, and my $4 million DSL framework, and everything that you need to predictably land 3 to 5 high-ticket paying clients every single week without needing a massive following, without spending tens of thousands of dollars on ads, and all while still looking handsome. And this is the exact strategy that's allowed me to generate over $4 million cash collected within my coaching business with only 5K followers. And same thing for my client, Carson, who's gone from $0 to $8,700 in monthly recurring revenue in just 4 weeks. Or my client, Rebecca, who's gone from $0 to $15,000 cash collected in 6 weeks. Or my clients, Mike and Lucas, have gone from $0 to $17,800 cash collected in just 22 days. Using the exact system that you're going to get your hands on for only $27. That's less than what it costs to take your girlfriend out to dinner. And if you don't have a girlfriend, that's all the more reason why you need this system. So just go to it and get access now.
All right, this ad fucking performed exceptionally well. And again, like the hook was steal, right? Again, like there's power words in marketing. There's a really fucking good book that I read a very long time ago, okay? Little backstory, I kind of fucking stole it when I was 15 from a bookstore, okay? But point of the matter is, it was a book that was called Words That Sell, right? Highly recommend you guys read it. It's like a super big book, but it's very easy to read. It literally just has a bunch of words that sell, all right? And steal is one of the words that psychologically trigger people to move. Because when you feel like you're stealing something, you feel like you're getting a steal, right? So again, in the beginning of the hook, I was just like, hey, steal my Instagram Client Accelerator for only $27. It's like, $27, steal, what the fuck is an Instagram Client Accelerator? So it opens a psychological loop and it switches over to me, again, showing like this complicated ass funnel, right? Which I had no intention of breaking down, okay? It was some complicated shit that most people won't understand, but it looks good, right? So again, it's a pattern interrupt / pattern match because most of the people that are looking at that are like coaches, consultants, agency owners, and they know what a funnel build out looks like on Miro, right?
Here's why you need to drop everything you're doing and go get your hands on the Instagram Client Accelerator. Number one, it's only $27. Number two, it's my secret playbook that I've used to generate 3 to 5 high-ticket clients per week with a tiny little Instagram following. And number three, here's what everyone that's gone through it so far has to say about it.
I'm going to use the Instagram Client Accelerator program.
The Instagram Accelerator.
The Instagram Accelerator program.
So I recently purchased the Instagram Client Accelerator and it was exactly what I was looking for. The training itself was straightforward, zero fluff, and had simple yet effective tips such as how to optimize your bio, which I immediately applied to my page right away.
It helped me build and launch my own offer, which is absolutely incredible. I've never worked with a mentor who provides this level of hands-on support and guidance.
I was struggling to land high-paying clients. I recommend it to anyone who has the same problem. It has also a $4 million funnel that you can apply easily into your business.
Provided a content hub.
Anyways, we're not gonna play the whole ad because it's very fucking long. Point is, people that saw the first ad that didn't take action then got retargeted with this. Can you guys see context in action? Yeah? Cool.
Don't do it. Don't give them the $3,000 content to client system for free. Have you lost your mind? After generating over $4 million
this
in
ad
info space,
fucking
I'm giving
printed.
away my $3,000 time content into client system away to you for completely free. And the crazy me is losing it. Keep posting into the void. Maybe someone will notice. And that's exactly your problem. You're stuck in content purgatory. You're posting daily, getting likes, yet your Stripe account is dying of starvation. You're missing the bridge between content and cash. Use ChatGPT. Just post more. Post everywhere. Spray and pray. And that's your problem. You're posting content without a conversion strategy. No killer lead magnets, no nurturing sequences, and no conversion strategy. You're basically a content hamster on a wheel going nowhere. Don't tell them the system. Don't do it. Exactly. Cost and generator over $63,000.
Anyways, as you can see, it's everything that we spoke about in action. We got the hook, we got the pattern interrupts, We got the breaking their previous beliefs, installing new beliefs, and then of course, giving them the system, backing up with some social proof and making some call to actions, all right? So if you've got one of each ad running, you're printing attention, trust, and clients simultaneously, all right? Ads buy attention, but your conversion OS monetizes it, right? You can have really fucking good ads, but a shitty funnel, you guys are gonna burn a bunch of money, right? Truth is, if your creatives are really good, your funnel can be slightly shitty, still work, but better to have both as best practice, right? Because ads is basically gambling with calculated risks, okay? So here's a client conversion ecosystem, i.e. the machine behind ads, because ads buy attention, and this turns it into book calls, showed, and closed. Now there's so many fucking different things I could talk about, like increasing show up rates, so on and so forth, but we're gonna get to that stuff. So right now I wanna break down the free course funnel and exactly how that worked. This is the trust engine. It's the fastest way to warm, segment, and book, okay? So this funnel printed over 63K cash in 1 month and 143K in revenue with less than 5K in ad spend. It did ridiculously fucking well, okay? So I'll give you guys some context on each part. All right, cool. So the first page, I was kind of planning to run a VSL, but the funnel took a little bit longer to build out than I expected. So I just ran it to an opt-in page, all right? If you guys need a good funnel builder, hit me up, got a guy, okay? But in the end of the day, we collected opt-ins. Now, most of the time, if you guys are running direct to VSL funnel, okay? So the difference is, do you guys know the difference between this and a VSL funnel or not really? Okay, cool. So VSL funnel is like a page that has a video, which is essentially your sales video that communicates to people what you do, how you can help them, breaks down their old method, why it no longer works, why your method is superior, and tells them to just book in a call. That's the typical VSL funnel. It's like the most commonly used funnel when most people are running ads, okay? There's different types of funnels that you can use. You can use a free course funnel, you can use a low ticket product funnel, and so on and so forth. There's very, very different types of funnels, okay? And webinar funnels too. But typically for a funnel like this, I collected their opt-ins because, again, we just wanted to retarget the shit out of them. And with a book a call funnel, I don't recommend putting an opt-in page. Why? Because it creates a shitload of unnecessary resistance that you don't need, okay? Number two, you can just put a pixel on the page that they clicked on and just retarget them using that anyways, right? And the headache that you're gonna go through for friction is significantly higher than if you were just to fucking have retargeting pixel. You know what I mean? So, of course, we use value dense email flows. I'll show you exactly what we did in those in a second. Wistia. Who here uses Wistia for their videos? Okay, super fucking important. Yeah, so one of the cool things that you can do, which is very important on your any sort of videos that you put inside of your funnel, is add chapters to your video. I know it might sound like a very simple and insignificant thing. I see Cameron do this, okay? Adding
dynamic video thumbnail.
Yeah. And also adding chapters in your video. Because truth of the matter is, most people are not gonna watch your entire video. And when you add in chapters, they can just skip to the part that's the most relevant to them. Might not seem like a big thing, but it's the difference between them watching the most crucial part of your video and them completely ignoring it. It's very important. Little hacks make a fucking big difference, especially when you're advertising. You want to tip every little piece within your favor, right? Because you want to get the most out of the money that you're spending. So use Wistia to track your engagement rates and add chapters, because most of the time when you guys are running ads, you're going to realize, and again, I'm going to talk about this more in depth in like a later section, you guys are pulling fucking levers, right? Like there's one simple thing that you can do that will double the amount of money that you're making from the ad. But you can't double the things that you need to be able to double unless you track what they are in the first place. You know what I mean? So we track average engagement, total plays, total play rate, right? So I realized that, for example, if I had 100 people come over to my funnel, okay, and only 20% of them were actually watching my video, I could increase the number of clients I have by doubling the watch rate. Something as simple as that, without having to spend more money. So if I just made some tweaks and changes to the VSL, it'll make a massive difference. You know what I mean? So, super important stuff. VSL, rule of thumb, when you're running ads, I know organically, sometimes you can get away with longer VSLs, but keep it 3 to 6 minutes max for attention, right? You guys are advertising to people that are watching 90-second ads, okay? And if they're watching 90-second ads, they're not really gonna watch a longer video than that, right? They're gonna wanna watch something between 3 to 6 minutes. So another good example of this is like YouTube ads, right? And the reason webinars, so I went to an event like 4 years ago, right? And this was a fucking revolutionary like mind-blowing thing when I got told this. It's so fucking simple, but it makes so much sense, right? When I went to this event, this guy in particular runs a lot of webinar funnels. Do you guys know what webinars are? All right, thank fuck. All right, so average webinar can be like 60 minutes or 90 minutes long, right? Someone in the room at this particular event was running a webinar funnel on Instagram. And this was a few years back, right? So I'm sure the game has changed now. But the only difference that he made is he switched running the webinar funnel from Instagram to YouTube. And he got way more fucking conversions and a way higher play rate. Reason why is because people are used to watching longer videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? So someone contextually watches like a 30-minute video on YouTube, they're much more likely to watch a 30-minute webinar or a 60-minute webinar. You know what I mean? So same thing for Instagram. That's why you keep your stuff short. So thank you page, ensure that you have this, okay? Otherwise your sharp rates will tank like a motherfucker. I ran so many ads when I was starting out without a thank you page. So I'll give you context. VSL, pretty much your sales video. You're communicating what you do, okay? How you can help this person. And then thank you page video is like, hey man, congratulations, you've booked in a call, but it's not confirmed. I need you to complete a bunch of fucking steps before we can actually get sharp to the core and help you with whatever it is that you're struggling with. Some of the things that you're gonna wanna get them to do, right, is confirm on Calendly. Because typically, if it's their first time receiving an email from you, it's gonna be sent by an unknown sender. So they need to click accept, right? And if they do that, then essentially they're gonna be able to receive your Calendly notification. Otherwise, they're not gonna show up. You know what I mean? And they might forget. And then you're spending hard-earned advertising dollars for people to not show up on your calendar. Your sales team's gonna screw at you. Okay? So this ad generated over 701 leads, as you can see, fuckload of leads, with a 43% qualified lead rate. And cost per lead target, I mean, we were expecting much higher, but we got a ridiculously fucking cheap cost per lead, right? So typically for free course, you can run it $2 to $6. We generate about 61 book calls. So it's about $58 per book call, which is fucking cheap.
So the funnel was they would opt in, get the free calls, and then you'd funnel them on the back end to
the
call.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look, this was like the initial opt-in page. This is the first thing that they see. Once they opt in, they go and see the VSL, where it's like, hey, congratulations on getting access to this fucking free course. But here's the issue. 95% of people that get access to this free course are not going to do shit with it. It's going to sit in their inbox, and that's the exact reason why you're stuck, losing money, blah, 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 right? And essentially, I offered them to just pretty much book in a call to overcome their problems, and they just booked in, right? And there's a shitload of leads that came in. We collected Instagram handles, as you can see, phone numbers, and of course, emails, right? That's 701 Instagram handles that my DM setters can now declare war on. And we did, right? Called every single one of those people in fucking GHL, WhatsApped every single one of them, made a shitload of money. Like there are still leads in our pipeline converting from that funnel. And we shut that funnel off a few months back, right? So essentially,
just a quick question. What does CPL mean? Because they call it CPL.
Cost per lead.
Cost per lead.
Yeah. So total spend was about 3.5K USD. Here's a screenshot from Matt Ads Manager. We spent fuck all on this, okay? So £2,700. We generate 701 leads. Back then I wasn't even using Hyros to track. It's about $5 cost per lead, 61 book calls, $57 cost per book call, okay? So you can spend $50, right? You guys will spend $50 on food that you don't even fucking like. You can spend $50 to get in front of someone that you can offer a 10K service to. It's fucking amazing. If that hasn't sold you on running ads, go on.
Why the total spend, given how amazing this is, why was the total spend so low?
I'm still figuring shit out, bro. Yeah. And we had an unhinged amount of volume of leads coming in. So I was also hiring at the same time. So again, when I go over like the systems and team section, you're gonna realize that when you fix one bottleneck in the business, yeah, like something's gonna break. And it requires you to level up and fix that thing.
The offer that you were selling to generate these numbers,
yeah.
How much was it? Was it 15K?
10 and 15.
10 and 15?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the two?
So one of them includes one monthly session with me every single month. The other one, just CSMs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I've upped that price now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So 61 book, yeah, go on.
This is actually for yourself and for Will and probably everyone in the room actually.
Yeah.
So I've been considering testing a pricing model out where they pay half up front and then they pay half after they hit a certain milestone, which will increase the probability of them thinking, oh, I'm going to get you to the outcome. I was going to buy something and somebody pitched me this. It was 20k up front, 20k after we make you 100k. And I was like,
I've done that.
Yeah, I also did this.
That's a good idea.
Exactly.
I'm like, because that also increases my conviction in the probability of you getting me the result.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that. And you can immediately I think we could double our price right away with that.
Yeah, we're going to completely change our pricing soon. I'll chat to you about that later.
Yeah.
So I've actually done that, but I've done it in 2 different ways. So I've done it as my main price before, but how I think it works better if you do it as an incentive to buy on the call especially. So what I would do is say something like, listen, there's 2 options. Option 1 is X price. Option 2, if you're ready to get going today, you can pay this much now and this much once you hit a certain milestone, and then you buy on call.
That's solid. So, as I was saying, some really, pricing, by the way, again, when we move on to systems, teams, and so on and so forth, is one of the best fucking levers that you can pull. If you can double your price, you're going to double the amount of money you make, right? And there's all these cool strategies that you can learn and incorporate right away, which will help you do that. And a lot of that's due to limiting beliefs as well. Like, the reason we feel like we can't charge more is because it's a limiting belief, right?
You know, remember I started with $500, then I went up to 4K, 6K, one lady actually, she paid me 3K.
Yeah.
And then there was the 3K left, and I said if you want to just get some upsell, she paid then 6K. So overall was 9K cash collected.
Sick,
you know,
sick.
$1,000.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to add to that, you'll realize that if you have an issue with limiting beliefs around how much you charge, spend more money, right? Every time I spend copious fucking sums of cash, I feel the intrinsic need to go out there and charge more. Because you get sold to. So you're like, fuck, if I can buy something worth 10K, 50K, 100K, $250,000, you're going to want to charge higher prices, right?
How do you usually justify on sales calls why you're charging so much?
Cool. So obviously, Charlie broke down a good method yesterday. For me, typically, another conviction belief system is how much I've got my clients in results. There's so many fucking clients that I've worked with that have hit over $1 million cash collected from fucking zero, right? And I'm like, I've changed this motherfucker's life. You know what I mean? We have the capability to do that. And I know that we genuinely fucking care about our clients. So we will go above and beyond for them as long as they're willing to put in the work. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where a lot of my own personal conviction stems from. So, yeah. And I know, go on.
Just to add on to that, Ben, prospects never see the issue with value. It's just uncomfortable spending the money. So we're very, very comfortable. We openly talk about this client has spent 15K, this one has spent 20K. And this is something they've never really had before, because most people hide the fact that other people are investing that much money. So when we tell them, they're like, oh, okay, these guys are actually quite transparent, and then they're happy to do it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, man. The more comfortable you are with the topic of money, the more comfortable your prospects will feel with the topic of money. You know what I mean? I'll give you guys an example. We're in the info and coaching space. We openly talk about our fucking numbers like it's nothing. But there might have been a time before you got into this space when it was illegal to tell someone how much money you made. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's the same shit with your prospects. So
yeah, before starting working together, actually I asked my mom for 3K, 3.5K, just out of the savings, and it was close to debt. Then again, May 30K in 30 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Justified.
Exactly, man.
Have you found the topic of money being a lot more taboo in the UK versus US audience?
100%. 100%. Bro, I 95% sell to just US clients. Shout out Kennedy, shout out Mike. You guys are fucking sick. Talk to Americans $15,000. Sure, I'll put in a credit card. You know what I mean? Americans are sick, but it's because
put everything on credit.
Genuinely.
Everyone's in debt.
Yeah, but Americans have been trained to believe the American dream, right? The UK have been fucking sold clouds and Morrisons and shit. You know what I mean?
Tesco meal deals.
Tesco meal deals, exactly. So we took about 53 calls that were actually taken. So we had an 88% sharp rate, which means the thank you page video actually worked, right? Some other best practices that we use, shout out Jeremy Haynes, I learned this from him. We send selfie videos from all of our closers to all the prospects, and that ensures sharp rate. You know what I mean? Plus another thing that works really, really well, and this is gonna seem so insignificant, but this is gonna show you the level of detail that you have to think into when you're running ads, okay? Does anyone here own an Android? Oh, thank fuck.
What?
An Android, like a Samsung.
I used to.
All right, thank fuck, no one in here does, but the probability of someone the probability of someone replying to your message prior to a sales call, complete fucking strangers, by the way, people that have opted into your stuff, like when you send them a green message versus a blue iMessage is significantly fucking higher for a blue message than it is for a green message. Because most scammers message you from green messages. You know what I mean? So instantly causes distrust. But these are little things that are so massive, like so much so to the point they started building softwares that go out there and send blue ticks or blue messages. You know what I mean? But yeah, none of them work incredibly well. Just get all your fucking sales staff to use iPhones. Otherwise, fire them. All right? Rule of thumb. So we closed about 14 deals. We had an average close rate of like 26.4%. And we cash collected 63K up front, $143,000 in revenue. It's an 18x ROAS in one fucking ad, right? It's the fastest way to multiply money. You know what I mean? So the free course gives value, the VSL builds trust, the audit call converts clients. That's how you want to position it at the end, right? Or an implementation call, whatever you want to do, right? So one prints trust, the other one prints profit, both for your pipeline. The next funnel I want to show you guys is self-liquidating funnel. This one actually pays for your ads. I ran this one. See you running this one right now. How's it doing, by the way?
We're at like break even. It's just a longer sales cycle, right? So
yeah.
Like the first month, we're at consistent break even, and then all of a sudden people started cracking. They start buying.
Yeah.
I made a mistake though. Our low ticket offer had too much information in it.
I specifically engineered a fucking low ticket offer for the low ticket ads. You know, I'll show you in a second. I'll show you. It's fucking sick. So basically,
sorry.
Yeah.
Just going back to the previous slide, the difference between your cash collected and your revenue, is it because of your an installment payment plan?
Exactly.
Or refunds?
No, installment. So let's say like, for example, like we had.
I get you.
All right, cool, fucking sick. Cool. Next funnel is a self-liquidating funnel. This one actually pays for your ads. And again, we've tested this funnel as well. It's fucking sick. Again, we turn off this funnel. I build funnels and burn funnels like a fucking psycho. Because I'm going to be focusing on the book call funnel, which is the next one. And of course, we're going to be sticking with that for the next 3 years or so. All right. But essentially, this one had a sales page, right? And the sales page actually had a VSL. It was actually like a 2-3 minute VSL where it was very, very simple and direct to the point, right? It was like, hey, if you're struggling with this, my clients XYZ were also struggling with this. They stopped using this old method, implement this new method, you can get it for $27. Because the ad was super direct response, right? I was straight up like, yo, for $27, you're gonna get this or your money back, right? Here's all the amazing things on the other side. So the cool thing is I specifically engineered this offer in a way to psychologically sell people. I'm gonna break that down in a second, right? So we had an order bump to increase AOV. So everyone here know what AOV is? Average order value? Cool. So whenever you're running ads, you can get the ads to pay for themselves if you have a low ticket offer in place. And a cool thing that you can do is add in an order bump. Examples of order bumps is like, for my one, I was like, here's an Instagram client accelerator to help you get more clients using Instagram. By the way, if you want an AI prompt to help you guys record content, here's my AI prompt. I just fed it with all the course material. Each of you can go into ChatGPT, create a GPT, and label it Kennedy's GPT. You know what I mean? And you can program it to do what you want. And you can actually sell those. We sold a bunch of those. It's fucking sick, all right? The better you design it, the better it's gonna sell. The better you position it, the better it's gonna sell. So instead of someone just spending $27, let's say it cost me like $20 to acquire that person, we're actually in profit on the front end because they upgraded for like $97. Making sense so far? Yeah? All right, cool. And then of course we had the VSL, right? So it's like, yo, welcome to the Instagram Client Accelerator. By the way, one of the most important things inside of this fucking course module isn't learning, isn't more information. The reason you're struggling is you need implementation. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna help you over an implementation call. Book in below, right? And they booked in. Obviously we were using Calendly back then. We use Typeform now. Typeform is fucking sick. Integrate it on your pages as well. So Typeform is like, you know in Calendly, when people can fill in a questionnaire, yeah? Typeform is like an upgraded company that specifically just focuses on forms. So you can ask them like where you're from, how much money do you make, qualify them, so on and so forth. You understand? Yeah? All right, solid.
Can't say with Calendly forms, no? I don't get the difference.
It is, but it's better. Like it's
UI is better.
Yeah.
Therefore your cost per call will be better because less friction going through the funnel.
Yeah, because Calendly is a bit clunky.
It's a bit shit.
Yeah. Like, it's fine for the actual book call itself, but Typeform is significantly fucking better for filling in the questions. You understand? So again, we got them to book in, and the mini course itself is a strategic indoctrination sequence, okay? Now, I read a book a very fucking long time ago, right? I'm not gonna go into the story, but I went on a fucking mission, okay? Booked my first solo trip, went into the fucking mountains in Tenerife. It was a fucking banging trip. And one of the best books that I read during that trip was Magnetic Marketing by Dan Kennedy. Has anyone here ever read that book? No? It's fucking sick. So, talks about how you can create lead magnets to get more clients, all right? And I pretty much took those concepts and applied it to my very own low ticket offer. So, the thing that most people fuck up, and Cameron, this is what you might be experiencing with your low ticket offer, is they fill their low ticket offer up with way too much information, which then delays your sales cycle.
That's exactly the problem that we had.
Yeah, so what I did, because I've tested a few different low ticket offers, is I broke it down into 7 videos. And each video was very strategic, because I bought a bunch of other people's low ticket courses and I saw how they structured it, and I took some stuff that I really, really liked. So one of the things that we did is Start Here. And Start Here basically broke down all the reasons why they're stuck and all the problems that they're experiencing, right? And then I shared client wins, examples, and I told them, in order for you to get the most out of this, you need to book a call. You understand? And we won't pitch you anything on that call unless you ask us to. And most people, yeah, go on.
At what stage do you actually put ads in your business?
So for you personally, because you've just sold your first client, I would personally sell a few more clients, refine your offer, refine your marketing message, and then I would definitely start running ads. You don't have to be a super advanced person to start running ads. You can just run very, very simple ads and still get people through the door. Your VSL needs to be on point, your offer needs to be on point, and you just need to have a system in place. You understand?
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, like pretty much Start Here. We got them to book in a call right away. That way we can maximize book call rates. And then I had an entire section that broke down why their marketing isn't working. All the fucking problems that they were experiencing. Why most entrepreneurs stay broke, right? So I pretty much labeled an entire term, which is like entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs that create a shitload of content that get views and no sales. You understand? And then of course, building your Instagram into a client magnet. So I broke down the visual overlook of the things that they needed to do and then specific examples, right? And then I gave them like one tangible thing that they can incorporate, like a one-stop content engine, the $4 million funnel, and then I gave them like a bonus section from a mastermind that we did last year. Again, to sell them on us, right? Which had a shitload of client results in it, by the way, right? And then Scaling Unlocked was like the final section. Call it something cool, which is like, hey, now that you've completed this, one of the next natural steps is for you to book a call. Again, we want to fucking push them to book a call as best as possible. And we generate a fuckload of ICA sales, right? So we spent about $5,000 on these ads. Of course, testing different audiences, so on and so forth. We made 91 front-end sales. So we did about $2,457. And that liquidated about 47% of my ad costs. So more or less half the money I spent on ads, I made back just from front-end sales. So imagine like spending like $5,000 in ads, getting $2,500 back. You're running $5,000 worth of ads for half the price. That's how you want to think of it, right? We booked in about 23 calls, not a lot. We had an 82% sharp rate, so the sharp rate was very decent. We had 19 calls that were taken, 42% of them converted, 8 clients closed, 72K cash collected from 5K. Very fucking decent, right? So in the next session, we're going to talk about how to get more conversions, manipulate your numbers to help you multiply your money faster, all right? So your conversion OS is how you manipulate the numbers that multiply your money. And a very important framework for you guys to note is ads generate data, all right? Clicks, likes, viewers, so on and so forth. That data then you can use to feed back into more content, more stories, more book calls, more clients, and then just throw all the money back into ads, right? So you create this fucking self-perpetual cycle that never stops where it keeps printing cash, right? And this is what most people fuck up, by the way. Most people take their money and buy Rolexes. Don't do that. So a good ad is like having a 24/7 closer that perfectly pitches your offer around the clock. That's what a good ad is, right? And if you can turn $1 into 2 predictably, you'll never starve again. So if you want access to my hook bank, ad breakdown library, 30-day creative launch tracker, video script swipe file, ROAS tracker template. You can scan this QR code.
I just had a quick question. So remember when you talked about the different areas buyers are in terms of their awareness? Does that mean you're running like 5 ads at once for each?
Yeah, so it depends on the campaign. We typically run like 3 in each. 3 in each work typically well.
Okay, so you're saying 3 in each at the same time?
Yeah. Like you're gonna need to collect data off the first ads to be able to then retarget that data from the second set of ads. You understand?
Yeah.
So typically I won't just script out, like I'm a little bit different in this sense, but I'll script out like the first set of retargeting ads. But then again, like with the other ones, I won't. And you don't necessarily have to market to people that are completely unaware, right? You do that once you're at a stage where you kind of feel like you've maxed out people that are problem aware. You know what I mean? The best like practice is to just target people that are problem aware, people that already understand that they have a problem. So I broke that down so you understand like the different stages of awareness. People that do like $1 million a month and they have like very little people left in their market that they can address, what they tend to do is they start targeting people that are completely unaware. You understand? Like, so Will was a really good example of this. Will was pretty much targeting coaches and consultants to help them scale their businesses. And obviously the guy is at like 500-600K a month. So he wants to increase his total addressable market. So he came up with a new term called unscalable consulting to target people that have never ever built a consulting business and now want to get into that niche. So he's creating a bigger market. So as they go down the funnel, they're like, oh shit, this Will guy has actually not only done this, but he's a fucking expert in it. I can learn more from him. Let me book a call and find out more. You understand? Yeah. Solid, man. Cool. Guys, any more questions before we go for break? No? You guys enjoyed the section? Yeah, go on.
How long do you run the ads for and how do you make it successful?
Good question. So if the ad is profitable, you want to run it for as long as humanly possible. You want to ask that question again?
I forgot what I said.
All right, I'll answer it. Look, with an ad, you can run it for as long as fucking possible, as long as it's profitable. You understand?
Yeah.
So if the ad isn't performing, you look at your numbers and you'll know that it's not performing.
Yeah.
For example, like if you have a ridiculously high cost per book call, that's like just fucking stupid.
But what's high?
It depends on what your offer is. You understand? Like, okay, let's say for example, you're selling like a $1,000 offer, but it costs you like you can still spend $800 and still be profitable by $100. You understand?
Yeah.
But that's ridiculously high. You could definitely get a cost per book call that's a lot lower than that. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much do I need to spend? Because obviously I haven't got 100K to spend a month on ads.
Yeah. Typically, like
and
with ads, like the lowest budget, I wouldn't really recommend spending less than £50 a day on ads. Yeah. Because the more money you spend on ads, the faster you collect data, the faster that you know whether your shit's working or not. You know what I mean?
So basically rob a bank, yeah. Get loads of money spent on ads.
Yeah, it's one way to do it. Do you have a question?
See, you're saying, oh shit. So you're saying free courses do really well, but you're charging there. Would you say someone like myself is better to do free course for the opt-in first?
So what I showed is 2 different funnels.
Okay.
One of them was like a low ticket, or one of them was a free course, right? Now obviously like free course, like I built that course over a year ago, and that course took a fuckload of time to build out, resources, so on and so forth. And of course we never really sold courses. We just bolted it on as an add-on for our existing clients. You know what I mean? Because we found ourselves repeating so much shit, I was like, might as well record a course, high leverage activity at the time, right? But definitely like a low ticket offer is far easier to launch because you can turn it into a sequence of 5 videos, give them like a tangible and actionable resource, and it'll probably take you like a week to put together. You know what I mean?
Okay, makes sense. Also, see for your call booking links. So you've got a call booking link at the forum, the ads, the DMs, and then you've got one at the end of that course. Have you got like different calendar links for all of them to track it, so you know exactly where they're coming from?
So when I ran that ad, I didn't. I just had the same fucking Calendly link because I just cared about whether they booked it or not. You know what I mean? But I think, Cameron, Hyros has an option for you to do that. Hyros.
Segmentation of leads, knowing where they came from.
Yeah,
exactly.
So.
Yeah, we use Hyros.
Yeah.
So that does tell you.
Hyros, you can see where they came from. We do use different counters as well for the reason that if we're using different pixels, and we only want to fire the most qualified leads back to the pixel. So for us, for example, with the low ticket offer, when someone opts in, we don't fire that back to the pixel because we don't know if they're qualified or not.
I think he just talks about knowing where they came from. So.
Oh shit, Hyros.
Yeah, Hyros does that.
You don't even need Hyros though. Like,
yeah.
I'll show you in a minute. You can just put a UTM parameter code on the ads. You can just fire it into your CRM, and you can pull it into a Google sheet.
Okay,
and it'll just tell you where they come from.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Lastly, that Dan Kennedy book, what was it called?
Magnetic Marketing.
Magnetic. All right, thank you.
Sick book.
Thank you.
Solid, man. You guys have a good first section of the day?
Amazing.
All right, lovely. Thank you, guys.